I'm from the townland of Cornona, which is just between Crossmaglen and the border. Roughly translated, I think it means rocks and bogs, and that would be the nature of the land that my parents farmed. We've achieved a lot. We have a sense of confidence in our past because we have a very strong sense of culture, identity that comes from that. I think that grassroots feeling that we have and that sense of community and self-help, while it's gone in a number of areas, and we see that with, as we've become a more selfish society, that hasn't disappeared in South Armagh. It's very strong, and you always know that you can rely on people and that they'll be there for you.
So yeah, my name's Holly McGeeney Murray and I am Ann McGeeney's daughter. I am from Warrenpoint, County Down, and I have lived there most of my life with my dad Jimmy, my mum Anne, and my three siblings Daisy, Holly and Ardle. So mum was the best mum ever, no one can argue with that. I think all four of us would say that, and we had the best childhood growing up in the mountains here in Morn. So mum's journey kind of started in July 2013. Mum was diagnosed with late stage cancer. Our parents told us in July, and it was a scary thing because cancer wasn't a word we'd had ever been affected by, and we had heard about it. My granddad did have it, but he was 90 years old, and he was old enough that they didn't need to treat it, so it wasn't too scary to us. We thought that's our experience with cancer, so it wasn't that bad, Grandad's still alive, he's fine. So we weren't too worried, and we weren't sure of the full extent of it because our parents didn't want to share that with us at the time, which I can agree with.
So throughout her kind of the year and a half of her illness, she didn't want to make a fuss. It wasn't a case of, where's the bucket list, let's do that, and that, let's spend the money and let's kind of celebrate life. She was going to continue her work, she was going to keep working with the communities, she was going to keep doing things, and it was just the way she faced adversity. It wasn't going to stop her doing stuff.
Or to put it in a nutshell, mum would walk into her room, and before she even got there was a buzz, there was a hustle of being like, this woman, we've heard about her, what she's done in other communities, how well it's worked and the impact she's made and the changes she's made and brought in. There was already almost a stir because I would always go into meetings before mum because I was kind of the admin person or the setter-upper kind of thing, her assistant. So I would go in, set up, get everything prepped before mum would come in and give her presentation or kind of do her speech and stuff. So just hearing the crowds and the rumbles that people would have, be like, oh, I've heard about this woman before and the work she's done in the past. And it was just nice to hear those different sound bites before even watching her get up and almost not perform but kind of do her kind of side of the things with the community.
A person who generally put everybody before herself. There was no selfish or personal interest in it, she just cared about other people. So it was kind of a thing, her friends all seen this in her, we all seen this in her as well, so they wanted to carry this on through the work that we're doing currently.
So mum's work, obviously there was a lot of peace building going on when mum was around, but she didn't want to do the classic, let's bring the North and South together, let's bring the Republican and Nationalist communities together, let's bring Protestant and Catholics together. Mum wanted to go that step further because she's like, there's much more to Northern Ireland and Ireland than just those two communities. There needs to be a focus on the refugees that are coming in, the travelling community, there needs to be an emphasis on how do we integrate them, the Polish community, how do we integrate them into our communities, how do we integrate the refugees coming over from Ukraine, how do we integrate them. So with the fund we wanted to reach those smaller minority groups rather than just do the main focus on the usual.
Mainly geared at mum was, she was a champion of the women, shall we say, a champion of women, and she always wanted women to excel and didn't want this here kind of old outdated idea that women have to look for someone else to help them out, women can do it all themselves, and she was again just a huge press and champion for that there kind of idea. And then the work's kind of been kind of do that, supporting various women's groups, women's aids now, shelters, meals for Mary's Meals I believe it was as well. So it was kind of just continuing on that there, the work she was doing, and I've no doubt in my mind the work she would have done had she been here. So it's kind of just continue that on for her then.
The conference we have organised really is, I suppose, a number of things we want to achieve out of it. One is a reflection and look back, both at the tremendous work that Anne did, which was the stimulus for us to set up the trust, to look at what the big issues are affecting those things that Anne was passionate about, women's issues and the obstacles they face today in terms of the challenges and how they overcome those challenges, but also look at some of the other things around the minority groups that are in our society today and the challenges that they face, particularly with recent events. So it's looking at those and then looking at what are the opportunities, what can we do. I mean, that was always about making, small things make a big difference, because we're not a big fund. The amount of money we provide is in relative terms small, but it's making a big difference to people's lives by doing that. So we're hoping to look for thoughts, ideas, inspiration from people attending the conference, and to take that and to feed that through to a fund which we're launching with along with the Creative Foundation for Northern Ireland in association with them, to make that available, particularly to women, but not solely to women, to assist them and support them, and to continue the work of the Trust Fund looking forward to the future.
You've influenced me, and more so than anybody else have been two women, my mother, who would have been a very strong believer in social justice, a strong believer in peace, but getting on with it at the same time. And the other woman would be Sister Mark Hollywood, who was our school principal in Newry, who instilled in a number of us girls the importance of being resilient and looking for solutions and getting on with it. We had such good role models in other women who will never be, lauded for that, but it's important that they know that they are important.